remember this as the day you sailed with the Skull Rock podcast. Proceed at your own risk and mark well me words, ladies. Dead men tell no tale.
Whether you're a lifelong Disney fan, theme park junkie, or someone who just loves great storytelling, you found your new favorite show. Welcome to the Skull Rock Podcast. I'm Aljon, musician and longtime Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, and pop culturist.
And I'm Dave Bossert, artist, filmmaker, author, traveler. Welcome to the Skull Rock Podcast. Aljon, this is going to be short and sweet. You're on vacation. We're doing this in advance of your vacation. So I'm going to give a quick plug for the screening that Arnie Leibovitz, a friend of the Skull Rock Podcast, he's hosting down at the Frida Cinema in Santa Ana on Saturday, July 25th. You can see a newly restored big screen presentation of The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad with this beautiful, groundbreaking dynamation effects by Ray Harryhausen and the thunderous, unforgettable score by Bernard Herrmann. And, you know, Arnie Leibovitz was a friend of Ray Harryhausen. So he's going to have some stories. He's also going to show two newly restored George Powell Puppetoons. They're Academy Award-winning Puppetoon cartoons. You can see all of that on the big screen Saturday, July 25th at Frida Cinema. Check it out. The links are in our show notes where you can get tickets and all that. And folks, these screenings are few and far between, and they are just fantastic to experience. So I just would say, please, if you have the opportunity on Saturday, July 25th, go to the Frida Cinema and see this screening. You will not be disappointed. Okay, Aljon, with that, I think we should just jump in and do our part 4 with Bill Plympton.
Let's do it. Now it's my turn to say it.
Hey, let's chat.
Let's chat afterwards. Let's chat. And he said, let's chat again.
Skull Rock Podcast. Interview time.
Well, Aljon, we are back again for week 4 with Bill Plympton, the legendary producer, director, animator, and cartoonist. Bill, welcome back to the Skull Rock Podcast.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
It's great talking. I really enjoyed our conversation last week about your feature films. I think this week I wanted to talk about the animation in the marketplace, the big features coming out of the studios. Do you go see some of those films?
I do, and I love seeing them. I really do. And any kind of animation I like. You know, I sometimes I put down Disney, but I wouldn't be here today without Disney. Disney was. I always watch their films. I always love looking at their films. And
well, I mean, they offered you $1 million, and you turned them down. So, I mean, come on.
I was saving that. I was saving that for the end, but that's okay.
Oh, you already told us about it.
Oh, I did. Okay, I think I can't
you already
remember.
told us about it. So,
okay, good.
I think it was in episode 2.
Okay.
But what do you think of the marketplace with the large studio animated features that are coming out that they're spending, you know, anywhere from $100 to $200 million on?
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems to me like they're finding a really great audience. What was it last month? There are 3 animated features on the top 5 list.
Yeah, well, you had Hoppers, you had Zootopia 2,
Zootopia,
and you had Goat from Sony.
Yeah. So animation is finding its audience. I remember when I was a kid, I had to wait, you know, once a year for a Disney film, you know, Sleeping Beauty or something.
So for a re-release or for a new one to come out.
Right, for a new film to come out. It was very rare to have a animated feature in a cinema, but now everybody's making animated feature films, from kids with their laptop to giant computer companies. They're all doing it, and I think that there is a need. There is a audience for animation, especially funny animation. I think that's what people want to see.
Do you feel like obviously it's all about the story to start with. I mean,
Mm,
you have to have a compelling story. But do you feel like the studio styles are kind of smearing together a little bit? I mean,
absolutely, yeah,
you
yeah.
could look at a Pixar film, a Disney animation
Uh,
film, a Sony film, Illuminations film, and
yeah.
you could interchange the logo at the head of it, and people would be like, "Oh, okay, that's from Disney," So,
Yeah. But
uh,
I could never compete with those guys. Those are like you say, $200 million films, and I my budgets are about 200,000.
yeah.
Yeah, $200,000, and so that's how I'm able to keep making the films. Is they're not really expensive. It's not a boom or bust kind of situation. I just keep making them.
But let me ask you this question though. Do you feel like there's gonna be somebody who's gonna come along, maybe it'll be you, maybe it'll be somebody else, who actually does a feature on their own that just clicks and everybody wants to see it and it does make millions and it only costs a few 100,000 to make?
Yeah, that's been done a number of times. I think that Fritz the Cat was really low budget, and that made 53 million or something like that. It made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And also the film that won the Oscar for the best feature film. What was it about the cat that jumped in this nature place? He won the Oscar for the
Oh,
best.
yeah, just a couple years ago,
Yeah.
Flow.
Well, thank you.
Flow, yes.
Yeah, that was a very low budget film. He made it at home by himself, and I'm hoping we get more of those. I
Yeah.
really do. And and modestly, I'd like to tell you that I think the tune had a big influence on a lot of filmmakers and showed that a single person could make a film by themselves
Yeah.
and a successful film, a film that people want to see. And now everyone's doing it, and I'm so happy that there's all these young kids making animated films, at home.
Did, like I said, you do go out and see these feature films when they're released. Do you think that there's a saturation point? Do you think there's too many of them, or
No, not me.
so you just feel like as long as they put them out, if they're good, people will go see them?
Yeah, yeah, people love animation. It's very magical, as you know, I mean, you were the
Yeah,
artist.
yeah, yeah.
Very, magical, it's very fantasy oriented, very, very, um, just wonderful, wonderful to watch.
I have felt that the subject matter that they were doing over a number of years was getting more like I would go in and see a film like Strange World or Wish and go, why didn't they just make this a live action film?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Whereas, those films didn't do very well at the box office, but if you look at the ones that are doing well, like Zootopia 2 and Hoppers and Goat, they're actually caricaturing animals and
Mhm.
making it funny. In other words, they're creating cartoons.
Yeah.
The type of animation that we grew up on, whether it was Warner Brothers or early Disney shorts or those types of films, as opposed to doing humanoids.
Mhm.
Like, in other words, if you're doing a human character, why are you doing it in animation?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Unless the human-ish character is really caricatured, like Mario Brothers,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, which is doing huge numbers right now.
Oh, it is? I didn't know that.
Oh, I mean, it had a massive, like, $400 million opening weekend,
Wow. Mm.
so but, from looking at it through that lens, what type of animation do you really like?
Well, I think you brought up an important topic when you say they all sort of blend together, and they always have the same story structure, for me anyway, it's just, um, it's the old Hollywood romance, You meet, you fall in love, then you break up, and then by the end of the film, you come together again. It's all same jokes, same storytelling. I like to do something different. I mean, something like Idiots and Angels is a very, very unique film compared to anything else that's out there, and that's what I want to do. I want to make films that nobody's seen before. That is very imaginative and very unique, and so that's my challenge.
Yeah, yeah. Is there a fear when you come up with a story, or when the industry, a studio wants to do something and I guess this really plays into some of the things I've been saying already, but I guess it feels like when you go see some of these big features that
Mhm.
somehow they're derivative of other things.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I steal things for my films. You know, if I see a joke that's really crazy and funny, sometimes I'll slip it in on my films. And I love, looking at other people's work. I have so many influences, like, well, of course, Tex Avery and Bob Clampett and Walt Disney and Winsor McKay and Carlos Niñe, and there's so many interesting films coming out now that that I love that. I love all those ideas, all those crazy ideas.
Did you, get a sense that, I mean, I always feel like artists are borrowing from other artists all the
Sure.
time, because we're all inspired by different artists. We're inspired by styles, we're inspired by subject matter, all of those things, and you could look at each one of the Disney films and you could say, "Oh, well, Pocahontas, they were inspired by J.D. Leyendecker, the illustrator
Right.
from, from the 20s,
Right.
or Snow White and Pinocchio, European, book illustration styling,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. That's one thing to me, to be inspired by what's other artists are doing, but also it's another to really be derivative in your storytelling and
Mhm.
feeling like they're just sort of reconstituting what they've done before.
Yeah. No, that's fine, but, they have a lot of bills to pay, and they need to make sure the theater's crowded, so
Yeah, no, I
what they
get it.
did.
I get that. Um, the other interesting topic I wanted to talk about, and I know you sit there and say I can't talk about technology, but you have to have an opinion about some of the digital technology that's coming in, because it's obviously saved you a lot of money now that you don't have to shoot your shorts or features on film
Mhm.
under a downshooter. You can just scan the images and build the movie files yourself.
Right.
You know, so with when computer technology came in the late '80s, early '90s into the industry, there was an awful lot of fear that people thought they were going to lose their jobs, but it
Uh-huh.
was absolutely the opposite of that. There were more jobs created because of the technology. And so I kind of feel like the rhetoric we're hearing about AI, artificial intelligence programs, is very similar to that.
Mhm.
Do you have any thoughts on it?
It's too early for me to make a judgment. 'Cause I hear of all these good things in medicine that AI does and other, human,
Ma-
projects that they work on.
Yeah, I was going to say advancements.
Yeah, advancements. And in terms of the animation, I haven't seen anything really, bad yet. Um, but everybody talks about it. They're really down on it, so maybe there's a reason. But
I
again,
I think it's a lot of fear.
yeah, yeah. But in my, movie making, it doesn't influence me yet. Maybe it will, but so far it doesn't really influence me.
I mean, I'm imagining though, if you're using Photoshop to clean things up, the Photoshop programs are becoming more and more robust with artificial intelligence and
Yeah.
being able to clean things up. So just my viewpoint is that they're tools for the artist to use that are going to speed up the process.
Right. Right.
And I think the idea, I think Jeffrey Katzenberg was quoted as saying, 95% of animation jobs will be replaced by AI. I think was more hyperbole than anything else.
Yeah.
So, what's next for Bill Plympton?
Well, like I said, I'm working on this feature. It's sort of a inspired by this comedian from France. I've forgotten his name now.
Jacques.
Yeah, Jacques Tati. Sorry. Thank you. And I've got about 10 minutes done on that. But I had to stop and do this fundraiser, and I got to do some short inserts of other animated films. And once I get my bills paid off, then I'll go into my feature film full blast. It's not going to be a long film. It will be. It'll take probably a year and a half to make. It's pretty quick. It's pretty simple. I've done all the storyboards. The storyboards look great. They're really amazing, and I hope that I can finish it in a year and a half.
And what's in store for you as far as, like, do you ever think about retiring, or do you just this is all fun? This is all fun to you, right? Because
why would I do that? Yeah,
that was the way. That's the way it is for me. I never thought I ever had a job.
Yeah. So what are you working on now?
I'm finishing off another book.
Oh my God! Oh, that's great.
I'm finishing off a book on the World War II period at the Walt Disney Studios.
Oh yeah.
All the propaganda films and the training films and the other ancillary, public service announcements and everything. I've done a deep dive into that, and that's coming out in the fall. But I mean, for me, there's a joy to creating. That when people say you're going to retire, I sit there and go, well, are you going to retire from breathing?
Well, are you doing drawing? Are you drawing any films?
I'm not drawing any films at the moment. I do have a short that's all boarded. That at some point I may be motivated to jump into, and maybe we'll talk about that at some future date. I don't know. It's really just a 3-minute short. But
that's a good length.
Yeah. So, but other than that, again, I think as artists, and this is one of the things I wanted to try and talk a little bit about for our listeners, because we have a lot of filmmakers out there that listen to the show, a lot of people who are just getting into the business.
Right.
And I think there's some folks feel like the end all be all is to work at Disney or to work at one of the major studios and have a job for life. And that isn't necessarily going to be the case. But there is an indie world out there where you can cobble together an income and make a living out of it. And you're sort of at the top of the heap of doing that, I think.
Right.
I mean,
well, what I would love to see is a book about the whole indie feature film explosion that happened in the 80s and 90s, and now it's just like a tidal wave. It's very important, I think, that people make their own feature films, and I think there'd be a cool book in that.
Well, we had Jim Capobianco on a few years ago with his film Leonardo. Did you see the stop motion Leonardo?
I did. Yes, I did. It was a wonderful film.
Had hand-drawn sequences in it.
Yeah.
He crowdfunded that project.
Wow.
And had the stop motion done in Lyon, France, and post-production done in Ireland.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he did, I thought, a fantastic job with that film.
Yeah.
I think the only shortfall for it was they didn't really have any money left over to do marketing, which is really if you make a movie, you got to tell people the movie's there.
Yeah.
If you don't tell them the movie's there, they're not going to see it.
Well, that's the problem. The distributors are supposed to do that. That's what distributors do.
Yeah.
So where were they?
They're not. nobody had the money for it. So I don't know what to say, but
Yeah.
I love that film. I thought that film
Yeah.
was just wonderfully done. It was a really
Charming, yeah.
sweet, charming movie,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yes, there's a lot of books. I have a whole list of books I'd like to do. I may be working on a Puppetoon book.
Oh, wow.
George Powell's
George
Puppetoon.
Powell, yeah.
So, but again, I think if you're in this business, you have to be in this business because you love it.
Of course.
Not because you think you're going to make a fortune and be smoking Havanas on a beach in the Caribbean.
That's a very good point. I'm glad you said that.
So, but I just kind of look at this as as an art form, and there's a lot of people that are interested in it, and there's a big fan base out there.
God, I lecture at the animation schools, and they're packed. Everybody wants to be an animator. It's like the rock and roll star in the '60s. Everybody wants to, be a movie star making animation. So it definitely has an audience.
Yeah, and also with the technology today, it's easy to harness that technology to do a feature where you have artists working all over the world in their own studios and just sending everything digitally to a central location, to be assembled.
What do you think of anime?
Anime? Look, it's a style. I like it. I'm not, I'm not a big fan of it, but I like all different styles of animation. And, when I look at when somebody says anime, I think of, Ghibli Studios and, the whole Japanese animation scene, Speed Racer. We were all introduced to it with Speed Racer, remember?
Right. That's right. That's right.
So, Howl's Moving Castle and Porco Rosso and films like that. I love those films.
Yeah.
So some of the more contemporary stuff that's coming out, it seems like it's really picking up in volume.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that's for sure. They got a lot of films.
Yeah. I mean, just look at this past year with K-pop Demon Hunters.
Right.
Winning the Academy Award over a movie like Zootopia that's made almost $2 billion at the box office. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
So but I absolutely enjoy it. I've been to Ghibli Studios. Have you been there?
No, I never have. No.
Oh my gosh, it's a wonderful studio to visit, and then the Ghibli Museum in Tokyo.
But see, I don't consider that.
You don't consider it anime?
No.
Why not?
Anime is the big eyes.
Yeah, the big doll eyes,
and no nose, and bad lip sync. This is no, it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I've kind of considered that sort of the part of it, because when you look at some of those characters, they've got big eyes. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally off base.
And they got the little hair on the forehead going back and forth in the wind.
Yes.
And then when they walk, they just raise their foot. Is what they do. They don't walk forward. They just raise their like that.
And then they're panning the background.
Yeah, then they pan the background, and the backgrounds look great. They do great backgrounds.
Oh, they absolutely. The backgrounds are fantastic, I think.
Yeah. But they're too photorealistic. I want something a little more style to it, a little more emotion, a little something unique, something different.
What is your favorite feature?
Of all times?
Yeah.
Animation or live action?
Animation.
Animation. I love Dumbo.
Okay.
Dumbo's really good. I love the what was the one? The Back Sheet. Fritz the Cat. I love Fritz the Cat.
Okay.
And he changed everything. I mean, he took a lot of guts to make that film, and he changed everything with that film.
I want to ask you about that for a second, because you've met R. Crumb, Robert Crumb.
Just what?
And that Fritz the Cat is his creation,
Right?
And he licensed it to Ralph to make a feature. And my understanding, actually, from reading the R. Crumb biography was that he hated it.
Yeah.
Do you have any insight into why?
Well, I heard his wife did the deal because he didn't care about contracts and all that.
Yeah, he
sort of
wasn't
shit.
interested in the business end of
No,
things. Yeah.
So his wife, I forget her name.
Aileen or
Yeah.
Eileen.
Yeah, did the deal, and then when he found out, he got really, really angry. But no, I'm a huge R. Crumb fan. He influenced me a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people that influenced me, but
Yeah.
he was one too. That the pen and ink style was very similar to mine.
I mean, beautiful drawings,
Yeah,
absolutely gorgeous drawings.
yeah, really, and very funny too.
And not only funny, but really stepping out and doing some outrageous things
Yeah, sure.
that really grabbed people's attention. They either loved it or hated it.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Well, see, the French appreciate him. Now he's a big star in France.
He lives in France.
I know.
Yeah, I think he lives in the south of France, but
Yeah, right.
but he does gallery shows on a somewhat regular basis over
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
makes a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, considering through the '60s, he was scraping along and couch
Yeah,
surfing to live.
yeah, right.
But
That's true.
it's rather interesting. All right, Bill. I think this has been a great conversation. I
Okay,
really
good.
enjoyed talking to you, Bill Plympton. It has been an absolute pleasure talking to you for the past 4 weeks on the Skull Rock podcast, and I look forward to having you back again in the future to talk
I hope
about
so.
animation
I
and
knew I have a new film.
and
I'll tell
help
people.
will help you promote your new film.
Yeah, I need that.
All
And
right,
if you get to New York, stop by, please.
I will. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Let's get out of here!
Come on, Scotty, let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here, Lieutenant.
Wow. There we go. I mean, I got to tell you, folks, Bill Plympton, what a gem. I was so thrilled that we were able to sit down with him and get 4 episodes out of him for
I love
the
it.
Skull Rock podcast.
Dave, you are a genuine Barbara Walters. How do you do it? You're able to get people engaging and open up and tell amazing stories. And I can tell you that, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, Aljon, it's so funny. Prior to us doing this podcast, I would interview people. I've interviewed, dozens and dozens of people over the years for books, interviews on various aspects of their careers and what they did and what they do and all of those kinds of things. But I have to tell you, I've had people in relaxed conversation tell me things, and after they tell me them, they say, I don't think you should put that in the book, or I prefer that you're not right about that. So, and I've been true to my word. I say, yeah, no problem. So,
You're like one of those reporters for the Daily Planet or whatever. You're like, oh, is that off the record? Is it completely off the record?
No. Every once in a while, after because somebody they get lulled into just having this fun conversation with me, and then all of a sudden they've spilled the beans on something that it's like, oh my God, I shouldn't have said that.
That's how you get them, Dave. That is exactly how you get them. No, good for you. No, it's good. No, this is great. I'm glad that you're able to kind of get these people to open up because, sometimes people can get kind of intimidated or kind of afraid, but you have a great way about you where you're not, you're putting them at ease, Dave, as it were. You're opening, they're opening up to you, Dave.
But these are friendly conversations. We're not trying to air dirty laundry or get gossip or anything like that. We're really just wanting to learn about people's careers and get them to inspire the next generation.
Yeah, it's not rage bait, guys. It's not rage
It's
bait.
not. It's not.
We're having a good time. Well, gang, thank you so much for tuning in to the very end. Once again, follow us on all of our socials. You can follow me, Aljon Go, Instagram, X. I'm there, and you can also check out my other podcast, Dining at Disney Podcast. We have new shows every single week. If you love Disney food reviews and theme park news, that is a show for you. Once again, Dining at Disney Podcast. Shout out to our friends, Sorcerer Radio at srsounds.com. All Disney music all day long. Dave?
Well, Aljon, people can, if they're not listening to me on Skull Rock Podcast, you can tune in to me on the Tunes Behind the Tunes on Sirius XM, Disney Hits, Channel 133. During the month of June, we're playing Life is a Highway from Disney Pixar's 2006 hit film, Cars.
I love it.
The original one, the original Cars.
Yes.
So it's a great song, though. I love that song, Life is a Highway.
Me too. I love playing that song, by the way, Dave. I played that song. I played that song a lot. Rascal Flatts are great.
That's it. Rascal Flatts doing Life is a Highway.
They're a great band. I will tell you, they're even nicer in person. And
that's good to know.
They are really great people, and that is one of my favorite songs. I think that's a Tom Cochran song originally.
It is.
But what a great song. I love that. Every time I hear it, I just want to just punch my hand in the air and just drive real fast.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, you can also get some of my books, autographed copies of some of my books at theoldmillpress.com. You can also get author signed copies of the newly released The Art of John Canemaker, An Animator's Garden by John Canemaker, and A Spoonful of Sugar, the story of the Upjohn Pharmacy in Disneyland by Stephen Hall. Both are new releases. And by the way, folks, my upcoming, and you're gonna hear it here first when I'm all set to do pre-orders, right? When we're gonna do pre-orders for this book. Walt Disney, World War II, animation on the front lines is coming, folks. It is a large book, let me tell you. It's about 370 pages, and there is a ton of stuff you've never seen before, ever, if you're a Disney fan. There's photographs in here that are going to blow your top. Okay, so just giving you a little tease about it.
Can't wait.
And then finally, you can go to my website, davidbossert.com. And there's all kinds of links to my books and free stuff and all kinds of free articles that you can read. And with that, folks, I will say go out, have a fantastic week. Aljon and I will be back in person next week with an expanded show of all kinds of stuff we've been watching over the last couple of weeks. But go out, have a fantastic week, be kind to one another, and we will see you next Monday right here on the Skull Rock Podcast.